right, here we go, guys, and we're live. Welcome, everybody, to the Pastrami Nation Podcast. My name is Nolan Smith. I am here with a great group of people today, including our special guest, and it's not Denton, but Denton is special, and he's here.
He's a different kind of special.
So, of course, today we have Pastrami Nation Jason.
Hi, everybody.
We have Line Breakers' very own David McKean. Line Breakers' very own Denton. And our special guest today is Marvel Comics artist of the upcoming X-Force series, Joshua Cassara.
Hey, amigos.
Yeah. Thank you for being on here with
Yes.
us.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
Unlike other artists.
We appreciate it.
Nameless.
Thank you. Where's the pastrami, though? I thought we were going to have pastrami sandwiches.
Every time.
We did it once. Not here, but we have done it once.
Can't even get some fake ass.
Maybe for
roast
Christmas.
beef or something.
I'll stop at Tom's or Tam's. We'll get
The
pastrami, man.
Beethovenfest?
Yeah. All right, so today we are talking, of course, to Joshua Cassara. We are also talking about Comic Fest, and we also have prizes to give away. Prizes we got today, we have this awesome Nightmare Before Christmas pop, because Halloween. We have Cthulhu Horror Dorbs, which Horror Dorbs. And we have 2 trade paperbacks of Mycroft Holmes from Titan Comics, signed by Joshua Cassara. And he did do the art on this series. This is the series that got me into him, and man, his work is amazing. So,
Awesome work. It's beautiful.
how do you win this? You leave a comment. That's all you got to do. Leave a comment. Let us know what you think. Let us know if you have questions for Josh. Let us know if you have questions about Comic Fest. Anything. Leave a comment. You can say hi. You can say anything. Almost anything.
No, you
But-
can say anything.
We just won't read it. Yeah.
Not allowed.
And,
I'm sign on right now so I can read every single comment.
can
All the
one of you guys
podcasts
grab
going
your
up.
phone and check it out? Because my phone is up there and my iPad is MIA
You're in charge.
today.
Oh man, what did I get myself into?
Oh, thank you, Dave.
Oh,
Such an awesome guy. So to get
How did I do
started,
this?
It's really swell of you.
so David's going to check right now and see who's leaving comments. So if you're leaving them, he's about to see you right.
Wait,
Not now.
Hold on.
I'm getting there. I'm
He's
getting
He
almost
had to
there.
open up his flip phone.
there. I literally had to do that today.
And he had
I
to go
a
into
little phone in my
dial-up.
pocket, and I felt real weird just flipping it up to check the time. It really happened to me. And I was a little phone shamed a little bit.
What was it, the T-Mobile chocolate or something? The one that like slid up?
A sidekick?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That was the first cool one.
Well, let's go ahead and get started first.
Where am I going?
But you're going to go to Facebook.
Go
So
ahead.
people,
I
if
did
you're,
do that.
and then you're going to go to Pastrami Nation.
Oh, I'm going. That's the wrong place.
And then you're going to find a video of
not
this
roast
group
beef.
right here.
You'll see a video.
Yeah.
The people look like us.
Yeah,
I
look
was
at
just
that.
self-centered. I thought I was going to Line Breakers. That's where I was at. Oh, here's a video.
And then
What do
you
you
click
Oh
on
my
it.
God.
Hey.
Oh,
Hey,
there's
guys.
All those
comments.
guys.
Whoa.
You might want to mute the video.
Is it,
That makes sense.
is it like that
I'm
scene
getting
in
there.
Spaceballs?
Yeah.
When they're like,
now it's just
now is now.
Yeah. Well, now
When
it's
did it happen?
infinite.
Just then.
Just then, right now. Now is now. Well, now it's then.
Then and now. Then is now.
All right. So we have some comments already. Jason Bean's there. Hey, buddy.
Hey,
How's it
Bean, how
going?
you doing?
Hey.
And Kevin Hoskinson.
Oh, yes. He's
Oh,
one
hey,
of our
Kevin.
reviewers up north.
All right.
Hello, Kevin.
He's
Up north,
checking.
like Canada or.
Oregon.
Okay.
Not Washington.
I thought you
No.
were going to say like Fresno or something.
That's still north.
Hesperia.
North
Yes,
Bakersfield.
He's in North Victorville. So first we want to start with talking to Joshua. So first, let us know about the work you have done so far in the comic book industry.
I guess the very first thing I did was I kind of did a self-published comic called Taka, and it was just my own challenge to myself to see if I wanted to draw comics. Kind of like
Okay.
this was like I really liked it. I really kind of started getting into storytelling and just practicing drawing, and it became like, let me see if this is something I wanted to do, because it's a lot of time and a lot of effort to go into. And I wrote out a script and I did my thumbnails and I gave myself a deadline. This is while I'm still working nights, and I hit my deadline, my self-imposed deadline, and the moment I was done with it, I'm like, I just want to draw more and I want to do more stories.
So it did the trick then, man, because that was your way to see if you wanted to do this.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
nice.
exactly what it was. And so at that same time, then I would do some portfolio pieces and I would post some stuff online. I get a little feedback, and sometimes like a commission here and there. And I think somebody, a guy named Josh from Atlanta, Georgia, hired me to do a book called Writers, and it was like the common writers. They have the
Like a
motorcycles
Power
and
Ranger
all
almost
of
kind of
like
deal?
that. So,
Yes.
and it was a really cool little book there, but they're like this terrorist group, and he hired me to do this, his 22-page book, and it was really cool. I think he just kind of self-published it online and printed some himself. So I did that. I did Heroes of Echo Company, written by Joseph Henson, who contacted me. I met him at Comic-Con, and he commissioned me to draw his books, and I drew, I think, like 3 or 4 of them. And just a super nice guy. It was a project he'd always been wanting to do, but I guess he didn't really want to draw, or he didn't just want to hire somebody who maybe drew better than him. And I did that book, and that's when I think I had gone around the convention floor at San Diego Comic-Con, and an editor named Steve White noticed me. I got his attention, and he looked over my portfolio and really liked what I'd done. And so we just kept in contact for like another half year, and he finally threw the Troop at me, which is written by Noel Clark. And people know him from Doctor Who. He was on the show Doctor Who. He does all kinds of shows and movies and stuff like that, and a really nice guy. And we did a creator-owned book called The Troop together. It was 5 issues, and then I was set to do Mycroft Holmes here.
Nice.
But in the meantime, actually, I had already kind of committed to doing Mycroft Holmes while I was still finishing The Troop. I got an email in my inbox from Tom Brevoort at Marvel Comics, and he's like, he had seen the stuff I had done on The Troop, and he's like, I'd like to get you in the mix over here at Marvel, and which is awesome. I mean, it's just so unexpected, and really cool. And just they didn't even like do test pages. They just said, I said, I have this little gap here, and he threw a page of New Avengers at me, and New Avengers number 7, and it was really cool. It was a White Tiger story. And,
nice.
Yeah, and so I drew that, and they immediately said, I want you to draw more. And I said, I'm already committed to this other book, and I gotta go. And I'm like, I was torn, because I'm like, I'm running away from here, but they totally respect that. Like, you honor your commitments, and we'll still be here.
Wow.
And so I ran off and I did Mycroft Holmes. It's awesome. It's a great book. I love it. And I got to help create this whole world, and I like kind of it's a mix of like Indiana Jones and obviously Sherlock Holmes and steampunk and stuff like that. And then I, came back to Marvel, do more.
I'm glad you were able to do Mycroft Holmes, because it is a really good story, man. That was to you and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yes, and Raymond Obstfeld is also one of the writers too.
And it's through Titan.
Yeah.
And it's a great book. I wish there was another part to it, man. Yeah, because it was so good. But if you haven't read it, you have your chance to check it out right here.
How does that work where you just do one page in the middle of the comic? Or is it like that page set aside where it doesn't have to match up the rest of the art? Or do you have to like match up the art in the book? You said just one page?
From who?
From Marvel?
No, a whole issue.
Oh, holy
Oh,
shit.
nice.
I thought you
like I
said
said,
a page.
because sometimes they'll,
Do you a
from
page?
what I know, they'll do like test pages. They'll say, hey, can you, for a colorist, color a couple of these pages, or even artists like, here's a script, draw pages 4 through 7, just to kind of see. They'll pay you for it. They don't just, but they'll pay you for it, but they just kind of see if you have what it takes,
Well,
and
see
you
what
do
you
it on
got.
you do it on time,
Right.
you do it everything, and you're also not like a kook, I guess.
Yeah.
And you're a normal human being, and they just threw a whole issue at me, which was awesome. And
Nice.
After you did some of that test pages?
no, that's
just
what I'm
they said,
saying.
Just
They-
do
There's
this
no
here.
test pages
Once
for
I
you.
agreed, and they
Wow.
sent me out a contract, and then said, okay, do it.
But
do
still
your
in the
issue.
middle of an arc, essentially. I mean,
Yeah, it was an Al Ewing written issue, and Al Ewing's rad, which was cool. I got to do a page with him in the Marvel 1000 issue, so it was kind of a
Right.
cool little reunion. And I think it was at the end of an arc, and it was like at the beginning of an arc or something like that. Or I
you said
remember-
7, right?
Yeah.
So it's probably right at the
Somewhere-
start of an arc.
yeah, somewhere right in there.
That's awesome.
And they'll send you all the reference you need from the previous issues or stuff that's in the script.
Very nice.
It's very
Is it? So you did that? Like you went and did a Marvel book in the midst of doing these creator-owned. Was there a big change, like in the way that the process happened, or the pressure maybe from outside? Like Marvel's a big company, so I know that they're deadline, and creator-owned. Maybe you can manipulate that a bit. I mean, was that a big change? Or
Yeah, it depends on like the lead time. Once you're set to publish, like they hoped for Mycroft to come out at a certain time, So you get to work, but once that first book gets published, you're on the clock,
Right.
Then it's more about that. They can kind of mess around if maybe they push something back a week, but it seems like once that first book's out, then it's got to be on. Yeah, so there's the leeway is as far as maybe creating the world. Like, Mycroft, I was really free to make things look as I want. I'd go back and forth, with the editors and things like that. Of, like, this is the look we want, the characters. But I was really, that's the fun, is you get a lot of freedom that way. Same thing with the troop. You create every character, every background, a new setting. You can do all the research for it. Then now when I jump into the giant sandbox that's Marvel,
Storied characters.
yes, and there's uniform stuff, and they're not as tight as I thought they would be.
Gotcha.
You can still have a little bit of your own style with it too. The belt buckle can be maybe your own style too, but overall it's got to look the way that it needs to be current.
Still got to be able to recognize the character.
Yeah, you recognize the character, but as far as it's got to be in continuity with maybe the other books that are going on too.
Right.
Because jump back and forth. I was like, oh, what is Captain Marvel? I did realize an issue of the Century nobody caught it, or they gave me a hard time because I drew Captain Marvel with the short hair, but she had the long hair back again. They let me keep the short hair. So, but things like that you'll get.
Awesome. So this was only in trade, right? Or
No,
there was single
Yeah,
issues?
they did single issues.
Oh, I have the single issues too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they did the single ones too. Some really cool painted covers. I did this one, I was telling Nolan that this cover was originally just my original concept piece for the series, and they ended up making it the cover of the first issue. Then I did a bunch of covers for the other issues and stuff like that. And then when they're going to do the trade coming around, I started working up an alternative for just the trade paperback, but just busy things happen, and I think the editors, they just went ahead and just used that cover anyway. I'm kind of bummed because I really liked the one I was using. And also I did another concept piece. I talked with Kareem and Raymond that if Mycroft continued, where this would take place, and if we did a whole nother series, and I did probably one of my favorite drawings I've ever done. I've never published it because I'm kind of, if anything ever happens more with it, but Nolan has seen it.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, it's a really cool drawing about the world that we would go to. Yeah, and
That's fantastic. We have any interesting comments?
No.
Nothing? Oh, good. So let's keep going with the questions.
keep going.
So an average page.
Yep.
How long would that take you to draw?
Well, I do both pencils and inks.
So you do it all. You complete the whole page as opposed
Well, not the
to
colors, yeah.
Yeah, but not the colors. But
No,
I
but-
do the pencils and the inks. So yeah, 15 hours, probably.
It's a lot of work that goes into that page.
Yeah, I'm not the fastest inker. I'm pretty slow. I mean, I have some pretty detailed work here and there, so it's just, doing it both. Like, I can't not do it just the way you draw. It's like I can't let things go sometimes.
detail takes time.
Yeah. And so I'd say approximately 15 hours. Some are going to take me 8 or 10. Some can be maybe even like 6 hours, but that's pretty rare. And it's really tough to gauge because I help take care of our youngest one at home and just in and out and just daily life. Just gets so it's you wake up early, you draw, then you take care of kids, do whatever you need to do, squeeze it in, then late at night before you go to bed, try to draw until you fall asleep at your table, which happens quite a bit.
Hopefully not smudging anything in your forehead.
Yeah, that's where I'll wake up just on my board. So.
It's a lot
Can
that goes into
we
that.
go back a little bit? Because I'm super curious why you would why comics? Because you're an amazing artist. There's so many other directions that artists go just in general. I mean, did you, as a kid, you loved comics? And so that was, what you wanted to do, but I know you said you want to test it out and see if you were into that. But, was that your main thing with art? That was what was in your mind, I guess?
Yeah, I grew up drawing a lot, but, comics, I got my first comic was Gru number 57, or is it 58 now?
Oh, nice.
Question myself, and I was probably 8 years old, I think, about that time. And so that was my first comic, and I loved comics. And then I'm really, my coming of age moment is the 90s boom and all that stuff. The from Marvel into Image right around that time. So I'm hugely influenced by that, and I would always draw and copy my favorite artists and stuff. So there was a lot of that, and it was always there. And I remember even my senior year, I drew I had one art class, and I drew a 7-page Spawn story. And so I'd always do that, but I never took it super seriously. I remember bringing a portfolio. I finally found out you draw them on bigger pieces of paper if you can. And then I felt professional right then, and I would draw them on there, and they're really terrible. But you don't realize it. You're just like, oh, this is so good, and you spend 2 hours on it, and you think it's the greatest thing in the world, and it's just awful, and you get torn apart in a portfolio review. But most of the time, they're pretty nice, but you can just tell there's like nothing. But I still loved it, and I still had some old portfolio stuff, and my origin story is kind of where I still had some of these things. I would still draw, I'd kind of paint and draw random things, but I'd still in the background draw, sketch a Spider-Man or something like that. And my now wife, when I started dating her, maybe trying to impress her, like, look, I draw stuff, and she
it worked, right?
Yeah, it worked. Yeah, hook, line, and sinker. She saw my old portfolio stuff. This is really cool. I'm like, and she knew I read comics. I think I still would pick them up. I didn't read them voraciously, but I would still every once in a while pick up books. And she's like, that's really cool. Why didn't you try to do it? I'm like, well, I never really gave it a shot, and I just said, you know what, I would really like to. I mean, I love it. I still love reading them. So I sat down and drew a Magnus Robot Fighter drawing, and I spent about 8 or 9 hours on it. And I really took my time, and it's still one of my favorite drawings, where the results were so different because I took so much time and studying and the anatomy and posing for it instead of just kind of trying to come up with it in my head. And that really kind of got my fire going. And then studying storytelling, reading more and more books, not just like the how-to books, but just reading more comics and just getting into that. And then started writing my own little stories and drawing my own little 2-page or 3-page stories. And then eventually when I did Ataka, it was like, that was my challenge. Do I really want to try to do this? Because I felt like my portfolio was getting better. I felt like this is something I feel comfortable about putting myself out there, because I was still hesitant because I knew it wasn't good enough, because I would compare myself with the things on everything on the shelf. And I don't want to compare myself with the lowest. I want to compare myself with the best. And when I finally felt like I was able to do it, after I did Taka, I'm like, okay. And then I know I was going to get better. And that's why I was really confident when I confronted confronted sounds way more aggressive. Like, you better look at my portfolio. to Steve White. He's this great guy from London, and he and I just came to him like just with confidence, showing it. Like, I know this was pretty good. Even though I'm very self-critical and self-deprecating, I knew it was decent enough to get a fair shake. Awesome. And so that was kind of like, my origin story then. I mean, I've always kind of drawn. I've never, like I said, in art class in high school, I took one community college art class, but I've never had any professional training. It's more just
So did you
practice.
have like another prior like professional life that you were already on the path of doing before you got into comics?
I was just a bartender.
Okay.
I went to San Diego State. I wanted to be an economics major, but the math kind of got in my way, and so took a step down to political science, and so there was a lot of sketching in my notebooks and stuff. So I did that. That's about all the use I got out of that degree.
Very nice.
And I mean, it was awesome. I loved it. I lived in San Diego for many years, and I bartended down there forever, the beaches and downtown. But bartending, cool. I still have really late nights now, but I get to do something creative, and I get to be home with my family.
Very
and
nice.
So doing that, instead of being around a bunch of delinquents.
Well, you're here now.
Yeah, sorry.
Denton's right here.
Are you sure that's water in that bottle?
It's absolutely not. But that's beside the point.
It's absolute vodka? What?
Yes, totally, 100%. It's whipped cream. That's tasty. One present?
Delicious.
Oh man. Now, what would be a dream project for you? Like, what's a book
Is there
that
a
you
character that you
character or
would
book
love
that you would
to-
love to do?
I mean, it's cheesy. I'm doing it right now. Like I said, my coming of age was Liefeld, Lee, Silvestri, that Marvel transition into to Image and stuff. And so, when New Mutants became X-Force, it's just, wow, this is amazing. This is the coolest thing ever. And to a 13-year-old or 12 or 13-year-old, that was just so awesome. So I have such a nostalgic connection to that time, and now being part of something maybe hopefully kind of similar with what Hickman's doing with this whole Dawn of X and everything like that. So there's something that just to kind of be a part of something like that. I didn't really feel the pressure. So I guess we're gonna just kind of turn into X-Force here.
Let's do it.
I was working in the Spider-Man office with the Venom guys. Great editors. It was great back and forth, and I they had me come on and help out with Venom and Donnie Cates and Stegman, and it's just like that's just really really cool. Like what a great, and I did this cool dream sequence, and I got to help wrap up an arc, and so some like really important stuff, and it's like wow, this is so cool. This is Venom stuff, and then can you do this right now? Can you do this Venom one shot that Frank Thierry's writing? And I started actually this is the Colin Bunn one, and I started drawing. Cool, this is awesome. I get to draw Mania, and I'm 5 pages in, and all of a sudden I get an email about, do you want to come over and you're thinking about doing X-Force? And it's like, but it's over this there's no news about this out,
right?
And there's this whole this Jonathan Hickman's overtaking this whole thing, and we're gonna have X-Men, X-Force. They don't give me too much to go on, but just kind of this to throw that carrot out at me to entice me to. And you feel bad because I'm like, I don't like bailing on anything, but I make sure that's totally kosher. Of course, the editors and everyone they're like, he's working on this, but they're like, that's okay, we can pull him off something. So I made sure I'm not stepping on any toes because I really liked working in that office. But I'm like, yeah, I would love to be part of doing this. And then that's when they paired me up with Benjamin Percy, rad dude for X-Force.
Oh, man.
And he's right now, and I mean now they've announced it. He's also writing. He's going to be writing the ongoing Wolverine title.
Right.
He's the writer of the Wolverine podcast, which is getting a lot of traction, and I think he's doing more of those. He just announced he's doing like another one shot today, like some man thing tool that looks really cool.
Oh, manslaughter.
Yeah. Did you see that?
Yeah, that looks great.
God, that cover, Kyle Hott's cover is ridiculous. He sent me that today. Just looks amazing. But so I mean, it was just. Yeah, it's kind of like a whirlwind. And at first I'm just kind of excited. I wasn't really nervous. I'm like, yes, this just sounds awesome. And the writer, I got to first read the script, but then they send me, here's all the reference stuff. Here's House of X #1. Here's Powers of 10 #1. Here's the scripts too, because it wasn't all lined up with the words yet, with the lettering and everything. But I got to read them, and that was when it really hit me. It's like, holy crap, because now I got to see what they're really doing. It's not just some relaunch. Hey, we're doing new #1s, whatever. This is this whole thing that Hickman is laying down, this foundation he's laying down. And then when I see Pepe's art and Arby's art, and I'm like I felt super scared, and then I felt I'm not up to the challenge of this. I'm scared to death. This looks like the best art I've ever seen in my life, and I've got to try to keep up with them. Like I already felt like I was drowning at the very beginning, and but then I step back and go, they hired you for a reason. They see what you're doing here, so you get to do you and your take on this. So that's kind of helps you stand back up straight and take this on. So since then, like I said, artists and every artist I know very insecure about their work, but I think that's the only way you get better, because all you see is your frailties. And so seeing that, the challenge of that, really kind of light a fire.
You're going on a big legacy, of course, like you said, X-Force has been around for quite some time. Yeah. This is a different version, but it's also part of this big House of X, Powers of X thing that has been building. So I can understand, like that's a lot, but it's also extremely amazing to be a part of. Like, wow, you get to shape that part of X-Force. You get to bring that part to life. And, I mean, that's a fantastic thing. Now, this new X-Force comes out 2 weeks from now, I believe.
2 weeks from today. November 6th.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then it's on a 2-week schedule.
Oh,
so
nice.
So that's why we had me. I mean, they first contacted me at the end of March, and I was drawing by a couple days out. I mean, the first day of April or something like that.
For how long is it on 2 week?
I think 8 issues.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to be on all 8. It's just the schedule will catch up too fast. But I have the whole first arc. And then we'll see about how we're going to work out that schedule. And I'm pretty sure it's the first 8. Gotcha. So that's why they have everybody working out way ahead, because it all lines up. Because what happens in X-Force #1, it's a holy crap, and it's going to affect everybody. It sounds cheesy, but it really does, and it's a really big moment, and it affects all the books afterwards. And
I can't wait.
It kind of reverberates to what's going on, with the rest of the books, and so, so that's kind of cool. So I get to see, I got to see this all come together. I get to see the reference and like the Marauder stuff, the Kitty Pryde stuff, early stuff in, because if you have to draw a character that has to do with your, in your book too, because they're all in there, everyone's wearing their costumes. You got to wear like the costumes that they've kind of designated. But the really cool thing, some of the background characters and some of them, they're pretty cool about like whatever era you want them to wear, like whatever outfit you want them to wear.
And that kind of goes with the story, right? Like whatever costume because of where they're at.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. Of course, a lot of pre-orders have been happening for X-Force #1.
Oh yeah,
A lot.
And thank you guys, man. And you guys doing the thing for St. Jude. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Seriously,
That is really cool.
Very awesome.
it was really cool. More than that, the support that we got from everybody is awesome.
Right.
You know, to sell
It's
that
so
many
cool to
books
see the community
on
come together
pre-order. Oh yeah, for sure.
to help a good cause like that.
Yeah, and that's like a bonus on top of that. It's something extra. We usually give a discount on those books, but people banded together and just took the full price, and knowing that even more money than what they would have gotten a discount on is going to go to a good cause. Plus, you're getting a holy crap book.
Yeah, it's a holy crap book.
Oh, yeah.
It's awesome. It's
A lot of guys went on
Now
the
the
10
10-pack could have come back.
Well,
at this point.
how you guys are following along, but this X-Force, this version, this is, Krakoa is now a nation, and there's a lot of enemies out there like for Eddie Nation, and there's private interest groups, other, you have, secret government organizations from other countries and things like that, and so to help snuff some of that out or do whatever, we have X-Force is basically like your CIA. You have your wet work field group, led by Wolverine, and then you've got your analysts who can, they'll go out in the field too, but they're much more the people who are gonna, they're not gonna crack the skulls as much as you send Wolverine to go out and do it, and Kid Omega, Domino, and you have like Beast and Jean Grey, Sage. They're gonna help crack some of the mysteries and figure out, who we do need to go after. And so it gets kind of dirty. Yeah, it'll get really dirty. And like the writer, like Ben, he's kind of a dirty dude. He does a lot of horror writing. He sends me threatening text messages, emails, and pictures. Like he sent me a picture of himself holding an axe, threatening me not to spoil too much today.
Oh, no.
Well, for your safety, do not spoil too much today.
Yeah, please don't.
But we have a great relationship where he has his map too. He under the rubric that Hickman has set up, he gets to have kind of free reign in that. As long as you're kind of within that world, but he's getting to do his thing too. And we have such a great back and forth. Like it's honestly every day we're texting. And there's email. The email chain is with the editors, everything like that. But we go back and forth. We call each other. You have to listen to this guy talk too. It's the best. He has the greatest voice in history. So
I got to hear this guy.
Yeah, you got to listen. He does. Yeah, just listen to some of his interviews and stuff like that. He sounds like Logan.
Very fitting that he's doing the Wolverine
He lives
podcast.
like up in the North
That's
Woods,
awesome.
like I don't know, tackling bears and I don't know.
He is Logan.
Yeah, he really is. And we just get along so well, and we're just right. I think he said in like an interview recently, we've achieved mind meld where I'm just hitting all points here. And then the same thing with the colorist Dean White. And I don't know if you guys know who Dean White is. And he was kind of, when they asked me who do you want to color, I didn't even have him on my list because I didn't think he was available. Last thing I had seen him do was some DC stuff over Ramita Jr. And I think he's so incredible. He did the Remender and Opeña Uncanny X-Force.
Oh.
And
nice.
I mean, just that book is just so perfectly beautiful.
Yeah.
And I mean, since then, and I had seen his work, and he did Black Science and some other stuff, and he's so good and he's so unique. And he wasn't even on my list. And I had my list, and I have some great colorists, and it kind of came back a little bit. And then at San Diego Comic-Con, a meeting with my editor Jordan, he said, "Oh," I said, "Who we have colors?" He's like, "Oh, we have Dean." I'm like, "Dean who?" He's like, "Dean White." And it was the greatest thing because he's so good. I mean, of course, he makes me look good, so that I like that. That helps. That's the best thing a colorist can do. He makes me look good. And the same thing here. Him and I texting back and forth. I don't even know if that might be him. Yep, there he is. 2 messages from Dean White.
Nice.
Yep. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, go ahead. Can you go in and out of that video? Because sometimes the comments get jammed up.
He's got to be coming.
In now?
Yeah, and then just click back in.
Oh my god, I'm gonna tell him.
Oh, yeah.
Just
That's a lot of messages there.
Oh.
Sorry, everybody.
Sorry.
Did not know.
Sorry, not sorry.
Brian
fascinating.
Bringinger. Oh my god, is that a clown with a tearaway face? Does that clown have a tearaway face?
this guy.
Does he have a tearaway
It's a
face?
clown.
And
Clown.
Josh
It's
Coppins
been a
is
while
there.
since I've seen the movie.
He's waiting for his.
Laura says hi.
The Lord.
Hi, Laura.
Crystal must be on there too. She said something.
Hi, Crystal.
Hey, Dean
There
White
she
says
is.
hi, by the way.
Hey,
Oh,
Dan,
hey,
how you
Tell him
doing?
hi for me.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Pretty
perfect timing.
Crystal,
Right on cue. Too.
I know,
I'm
we were-
like, I said 8:46. You text.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Cue the colorist.
Crystal Ponce, is Joshua doing any new indie stuff?
At the moment, I'm kind of married to Marvel,
Yeah.
so
That's it. It's a good
we'll
marriage.
see. That's always out there and in the background of stuff that I want to work on and with other writers. But for now, I'm locked in on Krakoa. They've locked me in there.
Very nice.
Any other?
So Jason Bean has a question for you.
Yeah.
If you were going to draw a character named Linebreaker, what features would you give him or her? And what do you think his or her abilities
Oh,
and powers
Bean, you
would
are
be?
the man, Bean.
Oh my
Yes.
god!
Yeah, that's a poignant question. All right. On the spot.
On the spot.
The ability to drink as much alcohol.
Awesome.
Oh, we have a full
That's
idea.
breaking the
of
line,
what
all
goes on.
right.
And just a big
That's funny.
axe and a big beer belly,
That's awesome.
a receding hairline,
Jeez.
hairy back.
So he's,
Getting very
so
specific.
he's a bad guy.
He's sad.
Might
Oh,
be a
he's
bad
good.
guy.
The point is that he's just staring at you the entire time. He's
I'm not trying to make eye contact, like look away, maybe, but not.
Holy shit, Bean, bad question.
Wow.
That was
Bean,
great.
Only Bean will ask that.
That's funny. That's pretty good. Thanks, Bean.
Cheers.
So
All right.
obviously, X-Force sounds like something. If you're an X fan, you should be picking this up. It sounds like it's going to be a big book. It's going to be something that ties right into the whole X-Men universe.
Yeah, I mean, if you can, pick up House of X and Powers of 10. Just, I'm sure, I don't know when the
You're
full
missing
trade's
out
coming out.
if you haven't.
Oh,
Yeah,
it is.
we'll
It's
have
so
the
good. Yeah.
hardcovers.
Yeah.
It's actually coming in
It-
hardcover format, but we have it all too.
It
so.
sets the table, and I think from there on out, you'd be free to kind of, I mean, you should follow along with all the books, especially X-Force, because it's the coolest one of them all. But, I'm just kidding, the other books. But, like, just setting that table, and I kind of get you in that mode. They do pay homage to, and that's the brilliance of Hickman. He really pays homage and really knows his X-Men history. And he really incorporates what a lot of people might think is some bad parts or the good parts. He uses it all, and so some things will be very familiar, but I think you just kind of at least need to read that, and then from there you kind of be free to read up on them.
I think from a fan perspective, a lot of stuff, Donny Cates and Ryan Stegman really caught fire because of their relationship and how well they work together.
Oh, yeah.
And those are things that he has said, and hearing like your passion behind it and how you talk about how well you guys are working together and that you've had this mind meld. I mean, from a fan perspective, that is just even more reason to go pick up that book, because a lot of times I feel like there's either filler issues or it's just stuff that fans get to the point where they're spending a lot of money on comic books.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And there's not a bunch of content that really excites them. So when you hear the creators are like so on the same page,
Yeah.
I mean, that's even more exciting. So
Oh, yeah.
we'll have plenty of copies of it. Actually, we don't. But
Yeah, we think that we're much slow
we're
down.
pretty low on that already. But no, I think that's really awesome. That makes me excited for it. It's really cool. To do
Yeah,
that.
and it's fun to be a part of it. Comics is a collaborative. I mean, most creative things. You're making a movie, and there's a million people on the set, but you're writing a novel. It's you and your editor. You do a comic, it's very few hands. The writer hands it off to me, and the greatest compliment is like it's better than I imagined it. Like when you just get crickets, then you're like,
Yeah.
But because we have this back and forth, and I've just never had that before. And with the colors too. Like I said, we're back and forth all the time.
Right,
And
that's
the
awesome.
stuff he's doing is, I hate to call him a color artist. He's an amazing just artist. He's doing I don't think it's not just Ben and I, and then he's adding the colors. We're a tripod. Like the three of us are like the three pillars of this book, because what he's doing too with the colors is just incredible. And I let him just kind of go free. Like I let him when we first talked, and he was wary of when I said just go crazy, do whatever you want, whatever you see my art and however you react to it, do it. And he was reticent at first, because artists are very fickle, and they're like, don't cover up my art, don't do it but what he does and what I've seen him do previously. And then when the first page came in, it was just like, it was the greatest relief in the world, and it's so good. And we have that back and forth, and he's excited about it. He will ask me, the same questions that I'll have with Ben about the writing, about like the storytelling, and like what's their motivation, where is this leading. I've never had a colorist ask me that, and he'll ask me, what's going on here, and what is he feeling here? What's going on down the road? Is this nefarious? Is this that? Is this a key moment for that? And he really talks about the storytelling, like, I did this to slow this moment down. Things that I kind of will do.
Well, color
too.
does affect the perception of the mood.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely. You look at good cinematography in movies, like just the coloring and things like that, and he's doing that, and he's adding his own flavor.
So Bean had a question that I wanted to, because I think it's a good question. So other than everything you're wrapped up in, what do you take the time to actually read?
I don't know. What publishers are we going to share?
No.
Is that taboo? Can't talk
For
about that.
Budweiser.
I'm reading Absolute Carnage. I'll read Sean Murphy's Batman stuff. His Curse of the White Knight right now. This is like the third issue of Batman Superman. I have not read it yet. I've just been looking at the David Marquez art. I just wanted to look through X-Men #1. I've been reading that. I've been reading Jonathan Hickman. I have before I was working in this. East of West. I trade weight for that, but it's one of my favorite series.
You mentioned that like one of the first times you came in.
And I like Black Monday Murders, which I've kind of fallen. I'm just going to wait till it's all done, and then I'll just.
You went on a weird hiatus, right?
I don't know. I'm sure, but maybe when he came back into Marvel, maybe that's what happened or something like that. Because that book's so good. It's so dense though. And I have a hard time.
I think you answered this. I'll let you.
I did.
You did.
Yeah.
The first comic book that you ever bought or received, it was the
Brew number 57 or 58.
Yeah,
it had to do with a giant
That
island.
was James.
That
Thanks,
floating.
James.
Yeah. It was about it at the spinner rack of the local liquor store, L&L Liquor Store.
That's
I
that's
love the
where
spinner racks.
everyone
I wanna get
back
one.
in the day got their comics, right? The Stop and
Spinner
Go
rack at
or
Circle
Circle K. Like that's where they
7-Eleven.
were.
7-Eleven,
That's what they
yeah.
have, so
Was there an artist that inspired you mostly though?
everybody looked just so good.
Yeah.
And I liked everything from, I wasn't really as aware of the artist until that era of
Gotcha.
with the Jim Lee and all that stuff.
Sure, I
so,
think that's where it happens for a lot of people.
But I think when I saw X-Force number 8 was when Mignola did it. He did one issue, and it was kind of like this sequence where, you're so used to the Liefeld art, and I love that stuff, and it was this Mignola art, and it was just this blocky, weird. I was like, whoa. It was really cool. But the characters I know,
Yeah.
it was really cool, and it threw me off in like the coolest way. I know a lot of people were even put off at the time, but I really liked it, and it kind of opened my eyes to more artists and kind of
Like you can enjoy something that's different than what you were enjoying already.
and seeing something like that, and like you look back to like Alex Toth, and so I just kind of brought in there. So like if you ever ask me like an editor will see exactly who your favorite artists are. He will immediately go, "This is your favorite artist," because they know because you draw, you pick up things from your favorite artist.
Sure.
If somebody asks me, I think I'm the illegitimate child of Declan Shalvey and David Marquez and John Cassidy might be like my favorite. I don't know. There's something about John Cassidy that I just love. He does just everything looks iconic and kind of old school in a way. And I love his art. Maybe you don't see his influence on my art, but it's definitely there because I love John Cassidy.
Awesome.
But there's so many, like literally everybody. Like I look at the shelves and there's so many good artists that
Oh yeah,
it's incredible.
Now it's just
And
amazing.
there's so many, and everybody has great strengths at so many things, and there's this Mark Brooks cover. Like, who doesn't like Mark Brooks? Anybody who says
Mark
that's
Brooks,
an idiot, And again, Sean Murphy is probably like he's fast, amazing, and
But two also across the field, two completely different styles.
Yeah, Mike
Things that
Allred,
look totally different, you know.
Mike Allred, it's incredible.
But all
his Mad
good.
Men stuff, I loved.
Heck yeah.
And with technology, the art is even further out there now.
Oh yeah.
You know, so many different styles and the ways that people are doing things.
I work traditionally, pen and ink, brush, and go ahead.
Sorry,
Go
Jason Bean is like, I cannot wait to commission a sketch of Linebreaker.
Oh,
Oh, boy.
I can see him doing it too.
Bean's gonna-
Yeah, I
just
don't
kills me.
know. I don't know about that one.
so good.
Oh boy.
I'd rather not see it.
I don't know. It's out there now.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah, because now it's on the internet. It's never going to die. We now officially
It's
know
now
what a
the
line breaker
character
looks
that you're
like.
going to have to
Yes.
wrestle in that.
And it has a beer belly and a hairy back. Those are the only two parts that I remember. And an
Of
axe.
course they are.
An axe, a beer belly, and a hairy back.
And he can drink a lot of alcohol.
He has a
The hairy
receding,
back.
receding
We
hairline.
all have the beer belly. I have an axe.
It's just an amalgam of all of you guys. That's why. Yeah.
That's perfect.
That's awesome.
Oh man. Any other fun or interesting things we should mention?
Let's see here. That's the most relevant and newest.
Well, I'll throw one out there.
please.
Because I also work for a school and I have a lot of students that they want to get into comics.
Mm-hmm.
What's the best advice for someone that wants to break into the business right now?
Oh, it's so cliche, but make comics.
Yeah.
And that's it's literally what it is. It's just make it. Like, you can do here's my wife. Sorry.
No worries, sir.
And, stop at the grocery store, of course.
Life
Life
continues.
goes on.
Live on 10 days, yeah. Yep, I'm getting
Says the married guys in you.
One
a
moment
lot
you're
of
in
free
Dakota,
pounds of
next moment
bananas.
you're in
Oh boy.
and a picture of my daughter. So awesome.
Oh, well, there you go.
It's always a bonus.
It's just make comics. I think that's the best way. Number one, that you learn,
Yes.
because if you just sit there, sequential storytelling, read the books, and tell a story. It's so hard to be a cover artist. It's, you either have to be one of the best artists in the world already, or you have to pay your dues. And I get some covers. I would like to do more, but I also really love the storytelling part, so that doesn't bother me that much. But a lot of people when they start, they just do like a cool pinup of Spider-Man, a cool drawings. It's where you start. It's where you learn. But what they're looking at is people who can tell a story, because that's the bulk of the drawings that are going to be done. So learn to tell a story, and the best way to do that, do a bunch of short stories. Do a 2-page story, a 3-page story. If you want to do a full book like I did a 30-page book, that was kind of my ultimate test. That's good to have, because when you do go to a comic book convention, or you even just Twitter to an editor, instead of just having if you come up with this portfolio, they're going to look at it. They could go, "Wow, this is amazing," but I don't know how long you took to draw this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. And again, if you're not really maybe telling me a big coherent story. They just you could have taken 10 years to draw this portfolio. A lot of people, especially in creators, it's easy to start things, but it's really hard to finish them, and that's what they really want to see. So if you show them a complete book, oh look, I drew a 20-page book, they see that you started a project and you finished, and at least it looks consistent throughout. You didn't slack through the middle and at the end, or you just really lose it at the end, or maybe even better, they see that you got better at the end,
Right.
Which you should if you're really taking it seriously. Because even right now, what I drew the last 2 days, I'm I wish I had drawn like this the last 6 months on X-Force, because I look back at what I drew 6 months ago already, and I'm I'm already.
Well, now you've practiced every character.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I kind of jumped in, and I guess the one regret I do have, I was so excited, and I did jump in. I don't think I did enough prep work to get me super comfortable with the characters, and I just kind of dove in and draw them, and now I look back, I'm I really wish I had done that groundwork, because I do, but it's just you just get better. You just get better at what you're doing. So what I think I'm drawing now, I think is way better than what I drew a couple months ago. So my advice to them is just to if they want to get into comics, it's make a book. And that way you have something. You can show them your portfolio. Cool, this is the newest stuff, but look, I actually did a book. I did 2 books. Here's a bunch of them for you. So that will be the most impressive thing when they just see that. And because otherwise you're not, I got an email from Marvel, but only after I had done some work. They've already seen published work and books coming out. They want to see some kind of track record that that an editor that you can work with other people, that you can collaborate.
important,
to.
yeah.
You know, if you have a writer friend, even better. You have somebody who writes and then you can draw. You know, but you know, just come up with your own thing and just show that you can do it. And the thing is, it's just practice. It's tons, and it's 2 steps forward and 1 step back, I always say, because you're gonna feel bad and draw really badly one day, but you just go, okay, well, I'll just do better tomorrow. And it's just making books. That's the best way. And nowadays, like you can web comics, and self-publishing, and just online or just to print yourself can be relatively cheap. You can have some print on demand. You don't have to buy. You don't have to order 300 anymore like you used to. You can literally just print 5 copies if you want for a lot of companies. So you find self-publishing, and then you can go to your local shop and just, hey, can you just do mine? I can't imagine a shop anywhere that would say, no, kid, no, anybody, I'm not going to hold your thing. You can work out however you want to sell it, but no shop's going to really like turn you down to just hold your book out there.
Definitely encourage that. There's all kinds of opportunity now between Kickstarter and the internet.
That
and
too,
all that.
yeah. I've never done
Alterna
Kickstarter
Comics
stuff.
is a great thing too. They're always trying to get people to send stuff in, and they can help you print your book at a really low cost, so that you can just continue to push it into the market.
Yeah.
But there's also more than the big two. You know.
Oh yeah.
You don't have to be at the Marvel spectrum to be making comics in a good, profitable, fun fashion.
Oh, absolutely.
Because there is so many avenues
Yes.
too. So that's why I get like, there's never defeat in this industry now. It's so big and it's so vast that there is just a lot to do. So.
Yeah, and there's so many stories in the comics. There's the big two, and that's what most kids dream of. But all the different horror books out there, and the different there's so many different genres. You can hit any genre you want.
Which is, I think, the great part about it. It can be about anything.
Yeah, and there's no, the writers love it because there's no budget. So if they just say they could say, guy walking down the sidewalk, or guy walking through a giant city with things flying around. It's like everyone's getting paid the same. It will take me more time, but you can. There really is no budget. You can do just a story that just takes place inside one room the whole time, or you can do a story that takes this giant space thing or out in the underwater and stuff like that. Yeah. So, but that's the fun part. Like anywhere your imagination can take you, just as long as somebody can draw it,
Right.
And so you don't have to worry about that.
You kind of touched on this a minute ago in the conversation, but James White wants to know, if money wasn't a factor, would you prefer just doing covers or interiors?
No, I like the interiors too. I'd like to do both.
You'd want to do both.
Yeah, covers are great because number one, it's a cover. I mean, it's all the glam.
Yeah. It's
a cool single image. It's usually simpler to do because it's one single shot, as opposed to on a page you might have to do a million different perspective points,
and then a lot of pages,
and the storytelling and all that stuff. But just on one page alone, I think covers. I take long on covers. When I get a page, I will draw directly on my page. If I do a cover, I will actually do a rough draft, and then I'll lightbox it onto a fresh page. So I just work out a lot of the kinks before, and then have a nice clean page, and I have my drawing pretty ready to go before I put it on the final piece. But I would like to do both because I love the storytelling aspect. Because there's nothing better than getting a script. The first read of the script is my favorite part of the whole process, because then I ruin it after that.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you for your insight and input.
Yeah.
We really appreciate it. And I know you are going to be here Saturday for Comic Fest, I believe.
Yes, I am. Yeah.
I think he said you're going to be here like 8 or 9 in the morning. He said
He's always up that early.
That's a good old jump on it.
Yeah. No, I'm excited. I don't really do like the convention circuit. I've done like a free comic book day before, but I don't really get out there. I'm kind of stuck in my cave, which is where you usually find me. It's why I smell so funky. And I'm excited to do it because you said you're gonna have a couple other artists here too.
Yep.
I always like that.
3 other artists. Yeah.
Caesar
Caesar
Flores.
Eric Rivera, which are 2 local artists, and then Matt Hurtado, who's a painter, tattoo artist.
These amazing Lego oil paintings.
Yeah,
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Four
think you
really
were
good
looking at
artists.
an actual Lego minifigure
Yeah,
and
he
it's
does
oil
like.
painting.
Oh, that's so cool.
That's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm looking forward to seeing that. Yeah, so I'm pumped up. I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna try to get here. You guys said you're opening at like 10.
Yeah,
Holy
we're kind of doing the artist thing from like 12 to 4.
Okay, like you said,
we kinda
yeah,
slated
and I
that.
said I'll try to get here like around 11 or so. I'm gonna sit around. Unfortunately, X-Force isn't out yet because
Right.
that would be
Right.
awesome. That would just be.
I know.
We gotta wait
Yes.
another week or a
Yeah.
week and a half So it'll be perfect because people can see it. I'll bring a couple pages. I can bring stuff that's already been in the preview pages. I'll bring my portfolio, stuff people can see the original art, and I'll have some of the books that I have published too, so you can kind of compare what the final product looks like. Yes. I think it's always cool. As an artist, I love process. I just started Twitter like a year ago, and my favorite part of following Twitter is anybody who posts process stuff. Let me see your thumbnails. Let me see your pencils. Let me see that stuff. The final product is great, but I like to see how people get there. Yeah, so when I'm sharing, I really like to share the process part. And so I'm going to bring my portfolio and bring even maybe some thumbnails. I'll be doing sketches and just like I'm going to do some like really brief, like just inky sketches, but just of a lot of X-Force characters. And I'm just going to just pump them out as much as I can, and maybe like first come first serve or whatever we do, how do we work it out?
200 blank sketch cover books that we will have. I mean, they're all vast titles, but just for all four of the artists, if you guys want to, nobody's obligated to do anything. However you guys want to do it with the fans for it, but just thought that would be cool because I know all four of you guys like to sketch and keep working.
I'll be here as long as I can, as long as I can.
It'll be fun.
Be here to doodle. So.
Well, that'll be great. We can't wait. This Saturday, 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock, that's when we open for...
We got free comics.
Free comics. We got some early bird giveaway stuff. We got
it's going to be a fun time.
Like ultimate packages for the first few people in line. Right? 10, I think that's what we said.
2 hands?
This many's. We're all not good at math. It's this many's.
Yes.
This guy's hands.
And then I know you have crafts going on for the kids.
So we'll be doing some pumpkin painting. We have it's kind of like a Easter egg hunt. There'll be eggs filled with infinity stones. And we'll be giving away these infinity mittens that we had made with sticky spots for if you can find all the gems. And
what happens if you find them all?
There's a prize. It's
perfectly
balanced.
Snapping.
No snapping allowed. We'll be doing a kids costume contest.
And that's at 5 o'clock.
That's at 5 o'clock.
What about the adult costume contest?
That's at 10
o'clock.
That's at 10.
Fuck at night?
Yes, it is.
Past my bedtime?
Yeah.
There's the pinata.
There's a pinata?
Yeah, we'll be doing a pinata for the kids.
What's in the pinata?
Candy, and there could be one of the infinity stones. So you're going to want to stay for that if you're going to get all of
it. Last time you had a pinata for Free Comic Book Day, it got crazy. Those kids.
It had to be the funniest moment of the entire day, that pinata.
It was fantastic, right?
What kind of pinata is it?
To be determined.
Ooh, mystery.
They've got superhero ones out there. You gotta get that. Or a Halloween one, I guess.
Or like one of Denton's face.
Could be My Little Pony.
That'll only last like a second. As soon as we put my face with "I hate Star Wars" bubble, that'll be gone.
Oh yeah, trash. Somebody takes it out with one swing.
One day we got to have a podcast about why you hate Star Wars.
Well, no, we are going the opening day. Okay, I'm a part of that. So
I just made him
nonsense.
I made him go.
Oh, did you get? What time?
11.
We got a little bit late.
That you're gonna be in the same one as us. It's like, we could add fun.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
free comics.
Star Wars.
Yeah,
free comics.
They dropped this
free
week.
Comics.
A whole new layout for the store. So if you haven't been in a while and you come in that day, we'll have a whole new,
tremendous, unbeatable back issues.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, it looks great, guys. Yeah. They're doing a fantastic job. It's going to be easy to find those back issues.
It's almost done because everybody at this table is staying and filling them up. We also tremendous amount of dollar bins, which if you were here for our Free Comic Book Day or not, it's insane.
And there were so many great books that came out of there.
Oh,
I saw the stacks that people were bringing
all
up.
the time.
Yeah.
First Deathstroke came out of there. I mean, no, there's no.
Was there Amazing Spider-Man number 1, 9.8?
I think there was a
Was there a Kool-Aid Man number 1?
There was a Kool-Aid Man.
You didn't save it for me.
We had like a handful of them too, and the guy bought like all of them.
Jerk.
There is though. There's probably more.
So make sure Saturday, be here at Line Breakers. They open at 10 o'clock. Be one of the first ones. Pastrami Nation, we're also going to be giving stuff away for our early bird giveaway like we did for Free Comic Book Day. Right. So if you're here between 10 and 10:30, you'll get a raffle ticket. We'll be giving away collectibles, comics, that kind of stuff.
Toys.
Yeah.
Comics
fun
are
things.
while supplies last.
Yes.
Yeah, so if you want one of those
Oh,
books, you make sure you get here early.
And this is not as big as Free Comic Book Day, so the titles are less.
Right.
Limited supply, yes.
But a good selection.
And
Great
we always
selection.
add to it. There will be cover price books in the free books that we add to because we do
Nice.
that all the time because we're awesome.
So it sounds like a really good Halloween event. I mean, Halloween's right around the corner. Might as well come out,
Yeah, be
be a
dressed
part
up.
of this.
Come hang out, talk to the artists. That's why
Yeah.
we're going to be here.
See?
Seriously, don't be afraid. Ask me questions, ask the other guys questions. Like, it's why we're here. I love sharing it, and I'm looking forward to it.
Any chance we see that sketch of Linebreaker?
Hey, that's we'll see how the day goes.
It's gonna be terrible.
So if you're
Well, it'd be
watching,
awesome, but
I'm pretty sure it already died.
It's-
Already done?
if you're watching, leave a comment if you're planning to join us for the Halloween Comic Fest. And remember, just by leaving a comment, you're entered to win one of these great prizes, including a signed trade paperback of Mycroft Holmes signed by Joshua Cassara. So that's fantastic right there. So the contest runs until Saturday, 9 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, and we will draw winners randomly by random.org. So, again, I want to thank Joshua for being on
Yes,
our
thank you
show
very
today.
much. This was
Oh my God, thank you
We
guys.
really appreciate it, and we want to thank Linebreakers for again.
Well, I
allowing
wanted
us-
to plug something that
Oh,
the week of
yeah.
release for
Yeah.
X-Force.
Yeah.
If people want to get it signed
Yeah.
by you, they
Yeah.
can meet you at Four Color Fantasy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we love Four Color Fantasy. Chris is awesome.
Yeah.
And I
He
just wanna
sure
make
is,
sure
yeah.
that If
Right,
anyone
yes.
wanted to make the trip down there,
Yeah.
we have a good relationship with him, and
Well,
we
I'm
really
gonna.
support
I'm
them.
so anybody who's pre-order, I'm gonna try to just schedule-wise. Hopefully they get them delivered. I was talking to Denton earlier about if hopefully they deliver early that day on Tuesday because I have my daughter's volleyball banquet that night. I think probably around 4 or 5 o'clock. So hopefully they should. If you're able to like bust them open.
Yeah, for
And,
sure. They usually are. Yeah.
Should
Should
be
be.
Usually gets here pretty early.
Yeah, because then I can come and just sign off. Because I'd like to sign as many people that wanted it, that pre-ordered it. I'm more than happy to sign them. So
How
'cause-
long is it?
What's
think
that?
it'll take you?
Well,
That's not what I was,
gonna
that's
get
not what I
clearer
was
and
talking
screamier
about,
as the
though.
day goes.
Now I feel like I got misunderstood. That's not what I was talking about. You're actually doing a signing at.
well, yes, no,
Right,
that's what I'm going to say. But I'm saying for locals here, they don't have to worry about that. Like, I'm anybody who's pre-ordered or anybody who wants to buy one,
okay.
or maybe even afterwards, if somebody comes and buys, if they want to hold it for whenever, like for like a week or something like that, I'll come in and sign ones afterwards. People, if you can tell them, I have no problem with that because the next time I come in, I will sign that for them. That's awesome. It's
Who's going to be signing with you? Is it the colors?
Dean White, yeah.
Dean White.
Dean, so
sweet.
that's his store,
Yeah.
and he lobbied hard. He's like, hey, come do this. They started laying into him on that one. I said, well, yeah, I'm going to be doing Comic Fest here, and I said I'll sign all the books from whenever you guys
That's
have them.
fantastic.
Get them in,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah,
I'll be
yeah,
down
it's
at
a
Four
great
Color
store.
Fantasies.
Every time we couldn't
So,
be more
on Wednesday.
appreciative.
Yeah,
of
no,
your
absolutely.
support for us, and everybody here loves it.
Good,
oh,
good. I mean,
you sign this? Oh, hey.
it's I've been in comics and I've always just been kind of like, even in comic stores I would go into, for the most part I've been really shy about. Like I never say like I draw comics, or I just go in there, I just
Do your thing.
just do my thing, and I pick up comic books and stuff like that, and especially when I was trying to like get into this, it sounds so cheesy, like I'm trying to draw comics and stuff, and and so like, oh, what books have you done? Nothing.
James is excited. He said he's
Yeah.
going to be here. He's not working.
So
We look forward to that, James.
yeah, please come hang out.
Same with Sean Tracy. He's excited.
Oh,
He was talking about that everyone thought AJ was going to get knocked out by those kids for that pinata last year.
Oh yeah, that's what I said.
oh, it went crazy, man.
It was the
Yeah,
funniest thing
I have
ever.
video of it.
AJ's face had to be the funniest thing ever. I mean, I love these free comic book day events. I love comic books, and I love to give them away. But I am thoroughly could not be more excited for having these four guys here. All four.
It's going to be so
amazing
cool to
artists.
have them here.
And
Yes.
it's just incredible. It's going to be really cool. I'm super stoked and super thankful they're going to do it.
So make sure you guys be here at 10 o'clock, and they have
Saturday.
stuff that runs all day long.
Into the night.
Find their event on Facebook, and it has the entire schedule.
Into the next day.
Yeah, because the adult costume contest
Bring
is
your
at 10
sleeping
o'clock.
bags.
That's where the line breakers actual
That's right. First
person
appearance.
will come out when you put water on it after midnight.
That's fine. Oh my god, it's like a gremlin.
Oh, no.
Don't tell the secrets.
Is there any way for people to follow you on social media?
I am now a Twitterer, and when I was starting to do Minecraft, my wife's got, you gotta get on Twitter, I'm just so anti-social media. I'm such a hermit, and that would probably been a good idea. He has like millions of followers, and that would probably been a really good idea to do at that time. And I finally gave in because I realized that you just have to do it. And I just found the value of it. But it's Joshua Cassara, I think, just Twitter/Joshua Cassara.
Perfect.
I'm going to have a new pen name, though. My name is Jaws because my wife calls me Jaws. And I think I'm really mad that I've just never signed Jaws on anything. So I'm going to start doing that.
Oh, nice.
Very nice.
So maybe I'll have a new Twitter. Just Jaws.
Nice.
Like, that's not taken yet, is it?
Yeah, maybe not.
Doubt it. Doubt it. Yeah.
So Joshua Cassara, Twitter, you can find me. I just post art and stuff. I'm a nerd.
I just do things and stuff.
So
Yeah.
the rad domino, your concept for the new domino.
Oh, that's probably my most liked tweet ever. You guys see that?
Yeah.
I had to put it in the Line Breakers comics.
Oh, it's so good. I got rejected on my new domino costume.
Those
Have you
guys.
guys seen
They
it?
don't have vision.
I don't
You
think
don't
I've seen it.
know. That's true.
See, that's the kind of stuff you can
It's a
see
what
by
if,
going
but-
on Twitter.
Follow him on Twitter.
And then for Line
Everything
Breakers,
was literal.
No. No. Somebody said that. Somebody goes, I think you took it too literal.
Right. Well, that's the what if. If
Oh, yeah, I
everything
think I
was
did see
literal in a
that now
comic
that-
book, how would it be? How would it be?
Yeah. They're like, I don't think she's sexy enough. I'm like, oh my gosh.
You're killing me right now. That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
and then for Line Breakers, you're on Facebook, Instagram.
Yep.
Website is comic.
Comicbooksurplus.com.
There we go.
There he is.
Linebreakers.club
Yep.
or Comic Book Surplus or Comic Hub.
It's all getting all tied together, though.
See, look at that.
We're
We just did a
Nice.
huge inventory, and in the next few weeks, we should have 30,000 books pushed to our online store.
Oh, that's amazing.
yeah, so you can just order and put it in your pull list, or worldwide, Scotland, you can buy it from comicbooksurplus.com.
We're really excited about
That's where we did all the pre-orders
We're
for
exhausted.
X-Force.
Right.
Very nice.
Great. And then, of course, for Pastrami Nation, visit us at pastramination.com, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Pinterest.
And top.
Not top.
You're still gonna let just
Every
I'm still on
time.
MySpace. If you guys want to follow, you could be in my top friends.
You'll get rid of Tom. All right. Well, thank you all for tuning in today. Thank you to Joshua
Yeah.
once again.
Oh, man. Thank you guys for having me.
And let's go ahead and sign off. Signing off. This is Nolan.
Jason.
bye bye.